Siyabonga ke asikhulule umongameli ne-leadership.
Simpiwe.
Let me put on my earpiece then. Hello? Yes, I can hear you, Maraika.
All right, I think we're trying to connect with our reporter, Simpiwe Makanya, who is in KZN production. Simpiwe, we missed out on that address by the president. Similar content, I imagine. How was the reception? Simpiwe, are you able to hear Johannesburg? But our reporter Simpiwe Makanya is at that story. We'll try and get an update later on. But meanwhile, NGO Gift of the Givers will be ramping up their humanitarian mission in flood-hit areas of KZN. Since yesterday, the aid organization has been distributing much-needed aid. These include blankets, plastic sheeting, new clothing, shoes, food, baby milk, linen, dishes, stationery, diapers, sanitary pads, school clothing and other relevant items. Founder Dr. Imtiaz Suleiman gave us an update on their efforts there. Let's take a listen.
The destruction is massive in the area. It's very widespread, both in terms of infrastructure, buildings, homes, informal settlements, small streams becoming big rivers, land washed away, roads washed away, gardens washed away. The destruction in a very short space of time, with an huge amount of rain, has caused havoc along the whole of KwaZulu-Natal, from Durban running along the south coast. Of course, a lot of focus has been predominantly in Durban and the surrounding area, but we have teams in Ikopo and in the south coast. They were in the municipality meetings yesterday morning and again today, and they said today they found the destruction was far worse than what they realized yesterday. I think over the next few days, as we get closer to the ground and more people can get access to communication or get into areas that's accessible, we will probably find that this destruction is far more than we expected it to be. And it's seeming like that because we're getting more and more calls with each hour from very varied areas to say 300 people affected, 400 people affected, 800 people affected. I think at the end, it's going to run into thousands of people affected.
In your efforts, what are you prioritizing? Is it the rehabilitation of infrastructure or humanitarian efforts?
Infrastructure, when we classify that, if it's to do with roads and, government property, of course, that's the government's responsibility, not ours. Ours right now is what we call soft aid.
A very important conversation there, especially as it relates to what South Africans can do to help in these efforts. But let's now go back to Simpiwe Makanya, who is in Umlazi. Simpiwe, the address by the president in Umlazi, we imagine it was the same content that he gave when he was in Amanzimtoti, but how was the reception?
Well, good morning to you once again, Desiree. Certainly, as you can see in your visuals there, we are in Umlazi next to the Mega City Mall. This is one of the hostels of Umlazi, where the president has just finished addressing residents. He is basically reassuring them that as the government, they are very committed towards addressing their plight, those who have been affected by these floods. He's actually saying that they will do everything that they can to ensure that both the survivors and those who unfortunately passed away actually get support from the government in terms of perhaps finding them accommodation, temporary accommodation for now, because we understand that over 1,000 of those residents that have been affected by these floods remain homeless. What the community members here, Desiree, are saying, just after he had finished addressing them, they actually said that they want to actually to speak to the president, to talk to him about some of the challenges that they are facing here as the community. They actually asked him to go and view the shacks that were affected by these heavy rains. With me, I have one of the community members. Ma, asikubingelele sikwamukele endabeni sibonga kakhulu ngesikhathi sakho. Mhlasimbe wena uthini umbono wakho ngokufika kwapresident? Inkulumo yakho uyamukela kanjani?
Ukufika kapresident kumina kunginikeza ngikwamukela ngezandla ezimhlophe ngoba kuyabonisa ukuthi kumele silithole ilungelo lethu. Sihlezi sivota imihla yonke kodwa ekuvoteni kwethu asiboni impumelelo eyaphambili. Idisaster ka4 lo nyaka yenzeka sihleli emanzini. Ekugcineni umamkhansela uyasebenza ngakho konke kodwa ekugcineni abe nezimpendulo anganikezwa zona njengoba sihlele emanzini nezingane silimalelwe asinampahla asinakudla. Ekugcineni sizobrebha ama-food parcel. Kunamhlanje ama-food parcel aswafuni. Kunamhlanje ama-material othayela aswafuni. Njengoba sihlele la sihamba sifuna ama-donation ematohweni siphelelwa imisebenzi mekwenzeka i-disaster fanele uqale phansi ekofesi amathuba emisebenzi sihlela eMega Village iningi lethu alisebenzi asithola imisebenzi kuqashwa ngokuthi wazana nobani. Ilungelo lethu lihlezi licindezelwe. Ikomiti melisebenza kwenziwa sengazi ukuthi lisebenzele emuva ayikho into eliyenza lithatha izinto lilahle emgqomeni. Ngakho siyacela ukuthi njengoba upresident efikile babe nenqubekela phambili basuse la kanjalo namathuba emisebenzi ivele ngoba mangenzeki lokho azameni ukuthi asivoti.
Siswami Mhlasimbe wena njengoba kukade kunezikhukhula nje kule nsiko embili wena uthintikeka ngakanani awusichazele isimo sakho nje sasendlini ukuthi kunjani?
Njengamanje endlini kunodaka isicabha sivuleki impahla esendlini awukho umbhede akukho kudla ama-fridge akukho njengoba sigqoke kanjena siphelele. Abanye abantu badla ama-treatment akekho kunamhlanje bafana nama-defaulters basesibhedlela kumanje kunodadewethu sesukile wahamba yongeniswa esibhedlela i-ambulance ibizwe kusuka Thangi ingafiki kuthiwa kubhizi ngezathu sokuthi komoshakele udefaultile akena yedwa sibaningi kepha ngokuthi asibhekeleleki njengabantu sithathwa njengezilwane njengoba sihleli la akacace ukuthi kwenzakalani ngempilo impilo zabantu zibalekile ekugcineni sihlekwa abantu abasemalokishini bathi sasifunani ayikho indawo yokuhlala kunzima ukukhokha irent iqala isi 700 kuya phezulu uma ngabe uhola 400 ngesonto uzo-afforda kanjani ukukhokha irent ka 1500 okanye ukhokhela umjondolo ovuzayo ngo 700 senze njani?
Siswami sibonga kakhulu ngesikhathi sakho. There was one of the residents talking to us about the situation. I'm just gonna let one of the residents again to join me shortly because I believe she wants to say a few words. Masikubingelele sikwamukele indabukeni wena uthini ngokufika komengameli la ikhahlameze kanjani imvula?
Uma ngabe kufika umangameli ka-ANC akezosibona ukuthi sicwile kangakanani emanzini sihlele endaweni enjani sesineminyaka ayida i4 iminyaka bekuzothayela kuthiwa sibuyele emanzini ngakho lokho ngakho ke yikho lokho sithi sinokujabula ngoba mhlambe uzoshintsha impilo umengameli wethu kuzo zonke izinkinga sinazo ke kule mjondolo asinama toilet asina itube asina lutho siyithina nje sihleli njengoba sihleli ngakho abantu abaningi bangenile emanzini abakwazi ngisho ukwenzani bathi abavoti njengoba bekhuluma nje kodwa besicela ke ukuthi ama-ID ke sicela basize ngama-ID bezosenzisa ama-ID ney'tifiketi zey'ngane ezinye ayile ngisho esikoleni ama-uniform ahambile iy'ncwadi ihambile ngakho ngiyacela-ke ngiyilungu lika-ANC ngiyacela ukuthi asisize sisizakale umengameli asisize kakhulu.
Basically, the sentiment on the ground is that of unhappiness, Desiree. These residents here of the hostel are saying that they are very unhappy with the situation that they live under. They are saying that for years now they've been trying their best to actually raise these issues with the municipality of eThekwini as well as the provincial government to say that they live in inhumane conditions and therefore they want government to intervene. What they are saying also, Desiree, is that for now they've had enough of being given or receiving food parcels when such situations occur, because those food parcels will only last them for a day or two, and then what happens thereafter? They are saying they are not going to be participating in in the elections, which are just 2 weeks away from now, or even less, because these issues have been long raised by them, saying that the government has really not interacted with them in terms of trying to address those issues. So they are very happy that the president is, at the moment as I speak to you now, viewing the damage that has been caused by these heavy rains here in the shacks that are situated near Mega City Mall. Desiree.
Simpiwe, it's just absolutely admirable how these citizens have been able to use a situation that's totally unrelated to so succinctly articulate their lived experiences and the social issues that they have to go through on a day-to-day basis. Right, I don't think Simpiwe Makanya can hear us there, but